Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream, man. I don't know why I played that intro, man. I just thought, you know what? Do people want the normal one or do people want the hype one? People was like, they want the hype one, so that's why we played the hype one.
I've seen that one for a while, bro. It's been a while since that one got brought out.
Well, that's usually only for watch-alongs. That one, that's a watch-along only. But you know, it's a hype part of the season, man. So sometimes you just throw it in there now and again, innit? You know what I mean?
Let me ask, bro. Let me ask the chat a question real quick. For those of you who the Avengers show the other night, what's the feedback on the Avengers intro? While we're on the topic, I thought that one was cold. I
think people like the Avengers show one. I think the people liked it, man. You know, seeing the comments was like people was hyped about it. It was sick. So yeah, man. I think people are buzzing about it. Yeah, we're going to go through the press conference. Some good news on some injury front there with Nathan Ake. We'll go through that in just a second. And I actually quite enjoyed it. I don't know. Did you watch it today, bro? Or are you just coming cold like normal?
No, listen, I met Nathan Ake yesterday. I had a little chat with him. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, so you know, I was making sure my boy's all right. But now with the press conference, No, I've not seen it. I like to come in cold. I like to come in cold, and you can drop some knowledge on me, and I can assess my thoughts.
It was actually, I kind of enjoyed the press conferences. I know I say this all the time, but sometimes the press conferences can be a bit boring. They ask shit questions, and you're just like, what the fuck's going on? But I actually really enjoyed the press conference. So yeah, big up to the journalists, man, because they've done decent. Right, let's get into it then. Let's start off at the beginning. By the way, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Let's get those likes past 100 likes in it. It was asked straight away on the mood of the Manchester City camp after the game against Arsenal. He said normal, just as usual. It wasn't anything special. Now, he also goes on to say we had a recovery session and today we had a day off. We're confident for the Fulham game. A lot of games in this normal period. Of course, winning games helps to be ready. On Sunday, we had another opportunity. So a recovery day Thursday, day off today. They'll probably have a light training session on Saturday and go again on Sunday. I would personally expect Pep to have played that down a little bit on the celebrations. I'm pretty sure there would have been some decent celebrations after the game. You know, it was a massive victory. Maybe not over the top because the league isn't done yet and we need to make sure we don't make any mistakes. But I'm pretty sure when he says normal as usual, I think that's a little bit of a porcupine to me.
Yeah, listen, I think on a human being level, on a human nature, you have to allow the players to have some sort of a celebration after a win as monumental as that one. You know, that felt like a statement. It was like a turning point, a handing over of the baton. You know, the title leaders handing it over to us, the Sharks who have caught them. It's now only in our hands. It's us. It's there for us to slip up. Now, I'm not saying they'd be going out in town and hitting the clubs with us. But you know, I definitely think they would have enjoyed themselves and that kind of thing. But I think you know we spoke a lot this season about how we've learned from our mistakes in recent years, more specifically with the Champions League. I think we have learned that you know you can't over celebrate until you've actually lifted the silverware. I think there was one year when we got to the Champions League final. I think we potentially slightly over celebrated when we won the league and we did the title lift, and then there was a Champions League final the next week. But yeah, listen, he's not gonna talk too much about celebrations, but they definitely had, I don't know, a meal or a few drinks. I don't know what they do. It's up to them, but yeah, they definitely enjoyed it. You have to allow them.
Absolutely. He was then asked about Fulham. He said Fulham are an exceptional and incredibly well organised side. And then we got the injury news. Nathan Ake is feeling much better, but he's still not training with the Manchester City team. He said his fitness seems good. Symptoms are good. It's important as players know his body and his reaction. I don't think it'll be much longer. He wasn't asked specifically about Kevin De Bruyne, but he said everyone else is fit. So we imagine that Kevin De Bruyne should be fine. So yeah, looking good there on the injury thing. He's not going to be ready for Fulham and he probably will miss the midweek game against West Ham, but he should be back for Real Madrid, which for me is his target. Get back for Real Madrid. Happy days. That is great news, bro.
Well, I feel great about that situation off the back of that Arsenal game because I think the back four or back three, whatever way you want to call it, that took to Arsenal, excellent. So more comfortable now going into that Fulham game and West Ham and Leeds with Kyle Walker playing the role that he did on Wednesday night because it was absolutely solid. But I definitely want Nathan Ake back, and I think they should work towards easing him back into playing football towards that Real Madrid game. You know, get him some minutes maybe if he's available for. Is it West Ham or Leeds first midweek next week?
Yeah, West Ham's the midweek game, then we got Leeds at the weekend.
Yeah, see, we don't know. I mean, you could maybe look to get him 15, 20 minutes in the midweek one and then give him a half maybe on the weekend one or whatever. Give him a half in the weekend one. He shouldn't have lost too much fitness either. I mean, he's been playing all season and he's been out for 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not as if he's going to go completely rusty and lose all his form, but definitely the goal for him. And I'd say they've, when you see the documentaries and you see the physios and the doctors working with the players and they always pinpoint a fixture they want to get back for and be starting again for ready. Like I saw with the Jesus documentary on Arsenal's YouTube, I'd say the doctors and the physios spoke with Ake and they've identified that game, the Real Madrid game, as that's when we want you back for. So whatever program they outline for him over the next 10 days, it just remains to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. He then spoke about the Bayern game. He said we didn't pass the ball enough against Bayern Munich and at the Emirates, but we did it a lot better on Wednesday. He said the Premier League title race, it'll be over when it's over, and still it is not over. And something that I liked one of his comments that I really thought was like really, really good was that he was speaking about Arsenal and obviously their poor form, but he said that can happen to any team and it can happen to us. He said we still have 7 games to play. We have to do our own game. I know what happened when we won at the Emirates. Then we drew against Forest. Now we go to Fulham against a incredible team. We're taking nothing for granted. We're happy for the last game and the performance, but that is all. I know it's not 20 games left, it's 7, but 7 games are 7 games, especially considering we have Champions League games as well. Don't misunderstand me. We're in the same position, 10 points behind. I trust my players. The players are the same. You have to seduce them every single day to make it sure it works. Losing is part of the competition. And then he basically was just saying that, like, here we go. He said, we have some margin. We have 7 games left in the Premier League, but Arsenal have 5. It's really close. The performance against Forest was one of the best. The team's played incredible, but we dropped points. And he says, ask Arsenal what it means to be in the Champions League. Obviously, they've done really well. So, yeah, Pep Guardiola not taking this for granted whatsoever, which is absolutely, and exactly what did I say straight after the game? What did I say after the watch along? I said, Fulham is now a cup final. Because it is a cup final for me. Because there's no point in beating Arsenal 4-1 and then going fucking dropping points to Fulham. That just undoes all the hard work. We have to go into Fulham like we're playing Arsenal. We have to pretend that Fulham is Arsenal, man. I ain't playing Fulham. I ain't playing Fulham on Sunday. I don't know what City are doing. I'm playing Arsenal, mate. I'm turning up at the Emirates. I'm going to a different stadium, man. Because for me, you've got to get the win there. You have to go there with foot. I want to see no complacency in this team with fans. You know what I mean? I want us to go there and be like, we need to perform against Fulham. I want to get a result, but we have to win. We have to win. Simple. We win, and then it enforces the result that you got against Arsenal. You drop points. You might as well just fucking drew or lost the game against Arsenal. It makes no difference. You have to go and get the result. You can't be letting Arsenal back into this race. And as well, because Arsenal don't play this weekend, if we do drop points, they then play against Chelsea on Tuesday. They're buzzing again. They're like, come on, it's not over. So you have to get that result against Fulham. It's a cup final, and I want to win the trophy, man.
Yeah, I watched AFTV's fan cams after our game with them Wednesday, and Robbie alluded to the fact that after we beat them in the Emirates back in February, we went and drew to Nottingham Forest straight after. Because there is truth to it. Like, when you come down off a serious high of winning a massive game, it can be hard to get yourself back up, that momentum through. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's draining. So this week, ultimate professionalism is required. You need to genuinely forget about the Arsenal game. The Arsenal game is done. It's gone. Forget about it. You got your result. Move on. That Fulham game is going to require utmost professionalism. And another top performance. It needs to be similar to what it was. Carry all the momentum, everything we gained from the Arsenal game into Fulham on Sunday. Like, we don't want to undo the good work that we've done this far. We've done so well to catch them. They've slipped up. We've caught them. We don't want to offer them another lifeline. I mean, as much as it was a psychological blow for them to lose to us on Wednesday and drop the points they have done recently, it would be a massive psychological boost for them to see us wounded and to see us drop points and go, right, City aren't invincible. City aren't, one of an unstoppable wrecking machine. Someone actually can stop them. Someone can get them. So, yeah, for me, it's a case of if we beat Fulham on Sunday, I think then it's full send, full confidence. This is a big hurdle for us to get over. Like, it's not to be treated lightly.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. He was asked about Kevin De Bruyne. He said he's the same player as a month ago. If he plays or doesn't, you cannot demand every single player of 10 years with a game every 3 days to be at all time on the up. He said sometimes you have to see it and say, okay, let him refresh his mind. His standards are so high. And of course, there was a period, wasn't there, earlier in the season when he wasn't performing as well as we know that he can perform. And Pep even benched him for 1 or 2 games, subbed him off, all that kind of stuff. But now, he's firing on all cylinders. I've got to say that some of the football he's played at the moment, I think some of the best football he's ever played at this football club. I think he's actually slamming. His numbers are insane. Look at his numbers in the last 5 Premier League games. They are ridiculous. And I've said all season that for me, Nathan Ake is probably our second best player this season. But the only player, in my view, that can actually change that is Kevin De Bruyne. Because Kevin De Bruyne is so good that even though he had a little bit of a dip midway through the season, what he does in this next stage of the season could push him up above Nathan Ake for second place, in my view. So he's playing so well, getting goals, getting assists, and we need him to continue on this form because he's helping the team.
Yeah, I think you have to be fair in saying that it's possibly some of the best football we've ever seen from Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, this link up he's now formed with Haaland, and it's still growing all the time. You can still see They're growing and understanding each other more and more. But the level that these two are at together now is absolutely frightening. I mean, when Haaland first arrived, we were saying, oh, the amount of assists De Bruyne is going to get, the amount of goals Haaland's going to get. It's now a case of they can do it for each other. You see Haaland laying on world-class assists. I mean, the strength and technical ability Haaland showed to lay off that first De Bruyne goal was unbelievable. They know where each other are going to be. It works. It's clicked, and it's only at the beginning as well. So for Kevin De Bruyne, like mid-season, when I remember he was dropped for the Tottenham away game, and people were saying, "Oh, he's not been great recently, and he's been dropped, and is this the end of De Bruyne?" I said, I'm not playing great, but one thing you give credit for, every season when it matters most, Kevin De Bruyne turns up. He was huge for us in last season's title run in, and he seems to do it all the time. He's doing it again. He's an absolute leader. He leads by example. So I'm buzzing with Kevin De Bruyne, and I just hope it continues to go the way it is. Him and Haaland they're formidable, man. They're absolutely formidable. There's just no stopping them. Like, you know, the way in recent years and even this season, we've been very active in the wings. We've always liked to use our wingers, whether it's Sané, Mahrez, Foden, whoever. That game against Arsenal, we went straight through the middle. We just went straight down the middle. De Bruyne and Haaland linked up, and Arsenal couldn't cope with them. Just those two players alone were able to rip Arsenal apart. So long may it last, man.
I agree. Got a couple super chats coming in here. I'm going to put them on the screen, and then you just quickly discuss it. I just need to go. For some reason, my stereo in my living room is just randomly playing music. So you got one here from Benno, who says, club have messed up big time with the Madrid tickets chaos. And then Amar as well says, this club is a shambles, ticket points of no use. Have a quick speak about that. I'm just going to switch off my stereo.
Yeah, listen, people, I've seen this issue with the tickets for Real Madrid. I mean, I got my ticket the last Wednesday, the morning of the Arsenal game, when I went on sale for season ticket holders. But I've seen the issues this morning. I've seen all the complaints that you guys as matchday going fans have, and it's sad. I think LB's given me license to record a video on it because I'm a matchday going fan, as plenty of you know. I go to a lot of games and I see the same faces week in, week out. All the away games, for those of you who go, you'll see the same people all the time. And these people are now being deprived of tickets to the blockbuster game of the season because the club have decided to sell out and try and maximize it. You know, the club have now are advertising it as it's sold out. We've sold it out. We've not sold it out. You've sold it out. City fans haven't sold it out. And I fear that the atmosphere that night in Real Madrid at home could be poor when it should be a fortress. The Etihad for Real Madrid at home, biggest game of the season, should be a fortress. It should be rocking. But now there's potential for that not to be the case. I think I'm going to record a video straight after this, and maybe it'll get up tonight, and I'll outline my thoughts more in depth, and I'll look into some of the stuff people have been saying on Twitter, and just see what the overall vibe is and give my thoughts. But it's definitely an issue. I don't regularly criticize the club because I think for the most part they make very good decisions, but they seem to have royally fucked it this time. But I'll go into it more in a video later on.
Yeah, sweet. And bro, my fucking stereo was just playing music. I got Spotify connected to my stereo and for Bluetooth, and it's just. I don't know if you could hear it coming through the mic.
I can hear.
No, it just started playing random fucking tunes. I was like, what's going on? So I switched it off. I paused it. And then about 2-3 minutes later, boom, fucking Two Door Cinema Club blasting out again. I'm like, whoa.
We don't listen. For those of you who don't know LB very well, you think Two Door fans, he was absolutely blaring it Wednesday nights in the karaoke.
Let's continue with the press conference reaction then. Pep Guardiola was asked about players stepping up. He said Gundogan, Walker, Scott Carson, Ruben Diaz and Rodri are players that have stepped up following the departure of Fernandinho. Good to see. He was then asked about Champions League against Real Madrid. He says, I've not watched Real Madrid. I have an idea more or less, but specifically, if they've changed from last season, I don't know. Normally, I'm concerned with the next game. We don't have time to prioritise anything. He says, to be Premier League champions is a similar level as the Champions League. It's every week against everyone. My attention is Fulham, then West Ham, then Leeds, then we prepare for Real Madrid, which is obviously good news. You want to be prioritising the current fixtures. He says, what I don't like is when a club is flat, good or bad, no matter, that is the worst. After winning in the past, the club has to have a charisma team, show passion, love. This is the key point. Again, about the players stepping up, which is nice to see. And then he says he don't give motivational speeches to his team. He just says from the heart, which is good. He says sometimes the boys are more calm or aggressive. Sometimes you have to lift them. Against Arsenal, I didn't say a word. Playing for the Premier League title, they know perfectly well. They warmed up so calm, relaxed, and they knew exactly what they have to do. which is great. And the final comment says that if we were 10 points ahead, then I'd say it's over, but we're 2 points behind. We have to beat West Ham and Fulham. The reality, if today the season finished, they'd be Premier League champions. You can lose points in 1 week. We have to be aware. I'm loving the comments that he's saying. To be fair, I didn't really expect anything different, bro. I fully expected him saying something like this, but you know, the fact that he is saying these things, which is what I want to hear, that this league is not over. If you think it's over, you'll lose the league. Simple as. He has got his team right up for this. And Fulham on Sunday now, biggest game of the season for me. We go again, get the 3 points. And then it solidifies that Arsenal victory. You've then, boom, that's in the bank then. We have to go again. This game on Sunday, man, huge.
Yeah, I know we got the job done against Arsenal, but to fully do the job is go and win the game straight after as well. It's going to show that you have the professionalism and the ability to go out and win the next game after and continue with your momentum. But I think with Pep's comments and Pep's quotes, he's kind of showing levels, man. He's kind of showing that there's levels to this game. He's showing that he has a hardened mentality now, and he's showing all his experience from winning trophy after trophy after trophy at all the clubs he's been at. All the comments just reek of a man who knows how to win a league. He knows how to see a league out. And you even compare our fan base to Arsenal's fan base throughout this whole title race. And I keep referring back to that point that I made just off the back of the international break when I was speaking to Arsenal fans. I was doing rival shows, and they're saying, you know, we win that game and that game and that game, we'll win the league. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, whoa, whoa. It don't work like that, unfortunately. It don't work like that with these title races. You simply cannot overlook anybody. And Pep is outlining that further. He's outlining that in these title races, it can be lost in a matter of one fixture. You can mess up your whole momentum, your whole psychology in one game. We go and lose to Fulham this weekend. All of a sudden, we're going, oh, that's a bit nervy now. You know, that wasn't part of the script. That wasn't part of the plan. So it's about just carrying on, keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. I think that's where Arsenal showed their inexperience when they're just identifying singular games that if they win those, they'll win the league. I thought that was very naive, and that shows that you don't have the experience in the title race. You don't have the experience of winning the world's or football's biggest honors, because you do need experience. It's a massive part. But yeah, man, all these comments from Pep, as long as he's getting the same ideologies across the players and they buy into everything he's saying, which I think they will because they're experienced players themselves, I feel confident, man. I like the boys of our camp.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. Actually, in a weird way, I actually think there's more pressure on Sunday than there was against Arsenal on Wednesday night, just in a weird way, because I just think now you've got the job done. You can't then go and balls it up on Sunday. You have to go and get the W. So it's a weird way that I'm thinking, but I genuinely think this game on Sunday is huge. You win
You know
that.
what, bro? What I would say is, I think if we win Sunday, we have one hand on the Premier League. I think we have one hand firmly on the Premier League because we've got 2 home games after that, Leeds and West Ham. Now, I'm not going to make the same mistake that Arsenal fans did and identify games like that and say, you know, they should be formalities. But I would like to think that if we beat Fulham, the form we're in, we will beat Leeds and West Ham. So that's beat Fulham, the big away game, then beat Leeds and West Ham. All of a sudden, you're what? 4 games? Is it 4 Premier League games left after that? You should be able to see it out. You should be able to see it out. And that's pending Arsenal beat Newcastle. That's pending Arsenal beat Chelsea, which, being honest, I don't think they will.
But you don't think they'll beat Chelsea?
Sorry, I do. I'd like to think they beat Chelsea. Chelsea are currently in the bottom half of the table. But that Newcastle game, I'm telling you, man, that Newcastle game, Newcastle are purring. Newcastle now, you know the way I said we'll have one hand in the Premier League? Newcastle will have one hand on a Champions League spot if they beat Arsenal, as far as I'm concerned. So that's their Champions League final this season. Newcastle, Arsenal, St. James's Park. It's their Champions League final. So I'm putting my money. I'll watch me in the Big Six for the previews of that. I'll back Newcastle to win.
Shit. Fairs. Okay. Good, man.
Score prediction. Wait for that.
Well, there you go, guys. Big up to everyone, man. Press conference. It was a good press conference, man. I enjoyed that. It was decent. So that is good news. We obviously did our Jude Bellingham stream this morning. Diario, big newspaper in Spain, reporting that Jude Bellingham has said yes to Real Madrid. He wants to go to Real Madrid. However, we went through it. We found that they also said the same thing about Erling Haaland. So, you know, their record on transfers isn't great when it comes to that. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, it was a good conversation. So you might want to go and check it out. And yeah, it's crazy. We don't play till Sunday. So I mean, obviously Arsenal don't play Saturday, don't play tonight. So, you know, you got like a weekend of just get City a win and then it's a W anyway. We could be top of the league if we beat Fulham, which is nice. with a game in hand, which is really good as well. And then obviously they play on Wednesday against they play Tuesday. Sorry, they play Tuesday. My bad. Against Chelsea, which I expect them to beat Chelsea, but it is what it is. Right, cool. That's pretty much it from us. Big up to everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere because we recorded, me, Hugh, and MCFC lads this morning recorded a video about Luka Modric reportedly out of the Manchester City game. We go through that. How big of an impact is that going to have on Real Madrid? How big of an impact is that going to have on the City versus Real Madrid game at the Bernabeu? We discussed that. It's live now. You're going to get automatically redirected. So go check that out. It's a big one. And people, we'll see you in the next one. See you later.